Hey everyone, I'm Trevor, and today we are at Disneyland to do a spin-off video of that one video where I shared with you things you don't need to worry about at Disneyland. Well, if you do happen to deal with motion sickness or you have a fear of heights or some other types of fears when it comes to rides, what rides should you skip? So, let's get going. And we're gonna start off with a ride that sets even me off, and I don't really deal with the motion sickness very much, but Mad Tea Party, or the spinning teacups. Yeah, there's a reason we don't really ride these. My children love them, however, and there are a couple of things that if you must ride them because I go on it for my kids. What can you do to mitigate the actual sickness portion of it? Amy, why don't you tell us?
So at Disneyland's Teacups Mad Tea Party, it says spin one direction to make it go faster. We have learned that if you either don't touch it or spin it the opposite way, it slows it down a little bit. It still spins, so if you're really sensitive, just skip it. However, if you are at Disney World and riding their Mad Tea Party, you can't do that because it says spin either way to go faster. So you're out of luck there.
Now you also do something else. You buy motion sickness patches, right?
Yeah, I have little motion sickness patches. I didn't bring them with me. But there are plenty of rides, not as many here, but plenty of rides even at Disney World that sent me off. So I have little patches I wear behind my ear that help.
And you can buy those on Amazon. We have a link down in the description to the exact ones that Amy buys. While we're standing right here though, another ride very similar to this one is Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin. I don't want to walk all the way up to Toontown, but I will put some clips in here for you. Very similar ride. It's a spinny type ride, except for this is also a dark ride. So if you don't touch the wheel at all, it will spin slightly, but mostly stay on the track. But you can also, just as Amy said, deathly grip the wheel and keep it straightened out. And it basically converts into a normal dark ride if you do it that direction. I still don't often do that ride simply because it usually has like a 45-minute plus long line. But again, my kids do enjoy it. They do love that ride, so we do it from time to time. And I just make sure that we don't spin it too super crazy. An honorary mention here is going to be Matterhorn bobsleds. This isn't specifically on the list because I don't think you're going to get any motion sickness from it, and I don't think there's really a lot of fears associated with it either. Maybe fear of hurting your back or something. But otherwise, that one side is a little bit rougher than the other. Which one is it?
So the Fantasyland side is smoother than the Tomorrowland side. So you still go in the same entrance at the front. However, when you get to the split, if you don't want the rougher side, ask the cast member for the Fantasyland side. If you want the rougher, crazier, more jerky side, ask for the Tomorrowland side.
So the reason why they're called that is because when you're staring at the mountain here, and I've had this question before, the Fantasyland side is closer to Fantasyland, which is right there. The Tomorrowland side, which goes that way, is closer to Tomorrowland, which is over there. So that kind of helps you understand the sides. It's from the entrance staring at the ride. Now for these next couple, we're gonna consider this all 1 point, but it's 4 different rides. So I also, aside from Amy, who does deal with motion sickness, I consulted my friend John Anderson, who deals with a lot of motion sickness, and I asked him to help me curate this list for you guys. And he said that every single one of the dark rides in Fantasyland, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, Peter Pan's Flight, Snow White's Enchanted Wish, and Pinocchio's Daring Journey, every single one of these 4 attractions set him and his wife off.
That's so sad.
I know. He said they were one and done, that the ride is far too jerky, and it is. In fact, if you look at our ride guides, we tell you that the rides, especially Peter Pan's, has this abrupt, whiplash stop on it.
Mr. Toad's at one point when you go over the train tracks, you're bumping like this. I made that mistake once of riding it shortly after having surgery, and it was oh, bumps. I was not expecting that.
So just keep that in mind. If you deal with motion sickness to a severe degree, you might have issues with these. I've never had issues with these. Have you ever had issues
Not
with
these ones. The carousel,
Yeah.
I mean, the carousel, I cannot look outwards. If I'm riding the carousel, I have to look straight or I have to look inwards, at my kids.
Yeah.
If I start trying to look at the surroundings of Fantasyland while riding the carousel, then I get a headache.
Now, the vast majority of the rides in this list are rides that either deal with motion sickness or a fear of heights. There are a few other couple of fears that are mixed in. This one might have a slight fear of heights because this drop, people always think that this drop is really big. It's actually not as bad as it looks here at Tiana's Bayou Adventure, but the reason this is on the list is because, again, in talking with John, and I'll use his word, he's flabbergasted that Tiana's Bayou Adventure does not have any lap belts, seat belts, or any sort of restraint whatsoever, and he's just confused as to how nobody has fallen out of this before. He said he will ride it again, but it just always makes him a little nervous, and he kind of like, he holds on real tight to avoid falling out. But I think you're fine. I've never really gripped it all that hard, and I've never even felt like it was falling out.
I've always been nervous about the no seatbelt thing. Like, not necessarily for me, but like when James and Benjamin like barely hit the 40-inch height requirement for this ride, it's like, you're so tiny. It's like we're gripping onto them as we go down to the hill.
You might have noticed Amy's glasses. We actually both wear contacts, if you didn't know, but Amy occasionally wears her glasses, and she just got this new pair of glasses from today's sponsor, Pair Eyewear. I instantly fell in love with the concept of Pair Eyewear because they have swappable frames. Look at this. Isn't that awesome? You just take them off. You can quickly and easily customize how your glasses look on the fly with top frames. So how this works is that you order a pair of base frames, which is what Amy has on right now. They have 18 different styles to choose from that come in various shapes and colors. There's even the ability to try on the frames with their virtual try-on feature on their website. Amy is sporting the Otero in blue tortoise, and it's actually a kid's frame.
I have a small head.
So once you've figured out your base frame, you can order as many top frames as you like. They snap right on magnetically. Yeah, go ahead. You can even stack the top frames. So if you order a sun top, which is what Amy put on right now, and then you put on a design top, you can essentially design your sunglasses without any issues. You can just wear both of them. They've got loads of different top frames on their website. In fact, they're the official partner of Disney with this, with over 150 top frames of different Disney IPs like Star Wars, Marvel, the Fab Five, villains, princesses, and more. They even come out with new frames seasonally, so your glasses can always match the current season, your mood, or your vacation destination. They have some Harry Potter ones too for you going to Universal. Right now, Pair Eyewear is hosting their biggest sale of the year. Just click the link down in the description and use my coupon code DisneyDadGift15 for a free gift with your purchase. Thank you, Pair, for sponsoring today's video. So the next ride that we need to discuss for motion sickness is going to be over here at Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run inside Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And of course, this is something that really Amy needs to talk about. So why don't you let us know what goes on here?
So Smuggler's Run is a motion simulator ride, and like a lot of motion simulator rides, it can be jerky. It has, you know, the video screen being the big part of it. So for me, especially with this ride, what sets me off is the jump to hyperspace. I have learned with this ride that if I close my eyes on the jump to hyperspace part, I am actually okay for the rest of the ride. However, this one is not 3D. The one that still pretty much sets me off the whole entire ride is Star Tours in Tomorrowland. That one being 3D and having a lot of like jump to hyperspace moments. I think it has like 2 or 3 of them, and just the constant big screen effect. That one I find I have my eyes closed most of the ride. With that said, we've noticed that Disney has started removing 3D effects from some rides. Like they just removed it from Remy's in Walt Disney World. So we are curious to see if, you know, maybe eventually Star Tours might go 2D. I don't know. But I am really excited to ride Remy's in Walt Disney World, not in 3D, because that one was on the edge of making me sick. So I'm really excited to ride that one again.
And what are we at? Countdown 2.5 weeks as of the day of this filming.
Yeah, about 2.5 weeks. I think it's, what, 18 days?
Today is Sunday, November 2nd. We're leaving Wednesday, November 19th.
Yeah, 17 days.
And I don't know exactly when this video is going to drop, but you can do your own math to figure out. It'll be a lot closer by the time you see. We're really excited.
We're really excited.
The countdown to Amy says, Shinkin' Noodlin'.
I'm telling you, this thing better not let me down. We've been like hyping it up for weeks of talking about it, and it better be good.
Shinken-noodling, it better be good. How could we share a list of Disneyland rides with fears without talking about Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage? On top of this ride being voted unanimously the worst ride at Disneyland by you all in our Disneyland ride polls, which, by the way, many of you have been wondering, when are you going to actually publish the full results of that? It's going to be in our Disneyland rides ranked video for 2026, so I'm going to make you wait just a couple of more months. But if you check out the community posts on my channel right now, we are doing DCA ride polls, getting ready for that video in 2026 as well. However, Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage has major claustrophobia fears for some people. Very tight spaces. You go down under the water, even though the actual machine itself doesn't fully submerge. You yourselves are under the water level, and additionally, at some point throughout the ride, all of the lights go out. There's not even any emergency lights on in the structure, and so it's pitch black. Mix that with the claustrophobia, tight spaces aspect, and this is just an easy skip for a lot of people.
Now, if you really want to experience this ride, but you don't want to get into the actual submarine, they do have a room that they have set aside. It's mainly for people who are in wheelchairs who can't transfer into the submarine, but you can go to it as well if like this ride terrifies you. They have a room where you can watch the experience, so you're essentially sitting in a room watching a video of the ride. So you can do that, but I mean, you're not gonna get the full experience. But if you're really worried about claustrophobia and still want to experience it, ask about that.
Now that's it for the Disneyland rides, but before we hop over to Disney California Adventure, I'm gonna get a food item that I have not eaten in years, and we're gonna get it here at Edelweiss Snacks. And that item is going to be the turkey leg. I talk about these things every single year in our food guide, and I never have any footage. Well, this year we rectified that. You've probably noticed that a lot. I might have even mentioned it a couple of times, that a lot of the food that we've been getting the last month or two has been designed to provide footage for those food guides coming in 2026. We will be putting out all sorts of new stuff. So here we go, turkey leg. Let's see how it is. Very good.
Yum. Why have we not gone one of these in a while?
I don't know. I am team dark meat all the way. When it comes, I mean, Thanksgiving's right around the corner.
Yep.
In fact, Amy's got her Thanksgiving shirt on. Thanksgiving is almost here, and we always do turkey at Thanksgiving and ham at Christmas. And turkey, the best part of the turkey to me is the dark meat.
Yep.
So this is, I don't know why we haven't gotten one of these recently.
I know.
That meat is so tender. The outside crust, or the outside skin, has a nice little flakiness to it, little crunch to it. And the meat is nice and tender and juicy, very flavorful. Man, this is really good.
We need to get these more often.
We need to get these more often. And since it's all protein, very filling. And 4 or 5 hours later, we're heading over into Disney California Adventure now. We're gonna head back to the back of the park first with Pixar Pier. Now we'll get to more motion sickness rides here in a minute, but let's talk about fear rides, because we just did. So Incredicoaster is gonna be the first one of those. And one of the main things that makes this ride scary is this right here. I think it broke. Oh, here we go. Okay, is this right here. There we go. That is a 55-mile-an-hour launch. That scares some people. And then over there is a loop. I know it's kind of hard to see, but it's a loop-de-loop, which means you go upside down. That's an inversion, and the inversion scares a lot of people. Now, I got no tips to help you mitigate the fear on this, other than to tell you it's not as bad as you think.
I don't know, some people still like it.
Now, Amy doesn't really like big, scary roller coasters.
I just don't like tall ones, but this one's fine. I don't do over 250 feet.
See? This one's fine.
110, I think. I think the drop's only 100 feet. It's really not that bad.
And additionally, there are over-the-shoulder restraints that lock in place really, really well.
Yeah. I mean, if we can survive Velocicoaster and Universal, that's a bigger drop and only a lap bar and goes upside down, I think, 4 times. you'll be good on this.
This one isn't as bad. I did talk John Anderson into riding this with me the next time they're here at Disneyland.
Will he?
He did say not to be surprised if he avoids me the next time he comes here, because he promised me he'll ride it with me. But I really don't think it's as bad as you think it is. Benjamin was terrified to go on this at the start. I told him it would be okay. I promised him he would be safe. I'll be holding his hand. I won't let go, and he's perfectly fine. He rode it, and it instantly, and I mean instantly, became his favorite ride at Disneyland. So give it a try. If Benjamin can do it, so can you. Another fear ride. The Pixar Pal-A-Round. Mostly the swinging ones, but some people do have a fear of heights for the stationary ones. You can see the stationary ones right there. It still goes up quite high. In fact, the stationary ones go higher than the swinging ones, because the swinging ones tend to go in the lower portion of the attraction here. So keep that in mind. If you do the stationary, you won't swing, which is a big fear factor, but the stationary ones will go higher. Now, the swinging ones also have a different factor. Motion sickness. They're the only ride at Disneyland and Disney California Adventure that have barf bags in the ride vehicle. They fully expect you to get sick, or expect some people to get sick with those. And so that's right there on the ride. So motion sickness and fear. There's a reason why this is called Mickey's Death Wheel, because it encapsulates both of them. Fear and motion sickness. You said you have no tips?
I have no tips.
Your tip is to not get on it.
Yeah, my tip is to not get on it.
Now we're going to talk about the high flyers. Inside Out, Emotional Whirlwind, Silly Symphony Swings, and the Golden Zephyr. And these are all on the list under high flyers because of, well, the spinning factor. I mean, the fear factor could be a slight thing, but I don't like heights to a certain extent, but none of these rides bother me in terms of height. It's the spinning, okay? I don't like the spinning. My kids love spinning. Silly Symphony Swings is like their favorite ride in this park. And every time they go on it, I'm like, nope, nope.
I'm fine with Inside Out, Emotional Whirlwind, except if we're spinning backwards. Because the way the seat configures, you can either go forwards or you can go backwards. And the kids always try to make us go backwards, and we have to force them to sit on the other side so we don't go backwards. So
if you deal with motion sickness, just make sure you're sitting forward instead of backward on that one. Yeah. Silly Symphony Swings, is outside or inside better?
Inside is less.
Inside?
Because you're not going as far. Like, the centrifugal force isn't pushing you out as far.
Okay, so you want an inside swing on Silly Symphony Swings. And Golden Zephyr, I usually like the front. I don't know that it makes any difference.
I don't think it makes any difference where you are on that ride. That ride, honestly, is actually pretty cool.
Pretty much on any of the spinning rides, what I try to do when I'm going around is find a singular point outside of the attraction to keep my mind on, so that my eye is like focused. It's whenever you see the blur of the motion that you start to have problems. But if you focus on one single thing, and of course eventually you're gonna have to change where you're focusing, but if you like focus on one single thing and then focus on one single thing and then focus on one single thing, and I don't know if you could hear me when I was talking when I was away, but if you change your focal points so that you're not like getting that blur as you're whipping around, then you'll be all right. That's my only tip for those types of things. And as obviously with this video, I'm telling you to skip it. So just don't ride it. You might be saying, this is like the 15th ride you've told me to skip. What rides are there left not to skip? There are 54 rides at both parks. Okay, if I eliminate 20 of them, that still leaves 34 for you to ride.
I tried to say Dumbo, but that one spins too.
It does. Jumpin Jellyfish. That's the next one on our list here. Jumpin Jellyfish. This is a drop ride. And it's very tame compared to Guardians of the Galaxy. You can see it going on there in the background. My kids have never had a problem with this ride, and Benjamin's terrified of Guardians of the Galaxy. We'll talk about Guardians in a minute, but this one's not too bad. But if you're afraid of heights, definitely just the best thing for you to do, again, is to just skip it. The next one we need to talk about is Goofy Sky School, but it looks like they're getting ready to do Plaza de la Familia, still going on? I think maybe I did read Plaza de la Familia was happening even after Halloween. I think it might be going on through maybe the 9th. I know that a lot of stuff starts to switch over after the 9th, but we're gonna have to go somewhere else so we don't get interrupted here with the thing. But Goofy Sky School is the next one we need to talk about. Since Amy routinely, and by routinely I mean always, sits out Goofy Sky School when we do it, and she never rides it. I'll let her explain why.
It's actually not really to do with motion sickness. I just hate this ride. I'll tolerate it, but you feel like you're gonna get thrown off the edge of it.
Well, and that's the fear factor.
That's the whole point of it.
That's the fear factor.
So,
every time you go around a corner, you do feel like you're gonna get thrown off.
I mean, I will ride it, and it doesn't make me sick. It's just not necessarily my favorite.
So the whiplash
so
aspect,
yeah,
the jerkiness
jerky.
and the twists don't bother
and
you?
there's abrupt stops in it too. Like when you hit the brakes after some of those hills. Granted, this one is not as bad as the one that's similar to it at Knott's, because Knott's Berry Farm had
Coast Cruise?
Yeah, it had extra supports that like kept your knees in.
Yeah.
And they were so uncomfortable. So at least with this one, like, it's still uncomfortable for tall people. I'm not tall. I'm short, and I have a hard time sitting in this ride. So be aware of that. But
it's very uncomfortable to sit in.
Yeah, if you don't like going jerk, 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 you know, type of thing constantly, don't ride this ride.
Now let's talk about Soarin' Around the World. This one is definitely going to be for fear, and the primary thing is going to be for heights. Just so you know, you are only, if you're on the bottom row, like 15 feet off the ground, and if you're on the top row, like 30 feet off the ground. That may still sound like a lot, but you're not as high as you think you are, because you feel like, you know, when you're soaring over mountains, you think, oh man, I'm like thousands of feet in the air. No, you're really not that high. And this one is specifically for Amy's mom. We brought them here to Disney. I think they've only come with us once, maybe twice, but the one time that we did take Amy's mom onto Soarin', she was death gripping my hand and her husband's hand on the other end. And not just that, but she had to put her left foot on my father-in-law's feet and her right foot on my feet because she needed to feel like her feet were on solid ground.
Yeah. And it's like, she even said, like, if it had a bottom to it, like your feet were firmly on the ground, she would have been fine on the ride. But the fact that, like, your legs are dangling, she didn't like that part. Whereas, like, I love that part.
We had to basically twist her arm to come on this ride. Again, this is another one of those ones where it's like, it's not as bad as you think. It's all in your head. I promise you, this one is all in your head. But there is some fear here. So if you don't even want to deal with the fear, you just no thank you. You're Dio from the Star Wars, the last one, I think episode 9. No thank you. No thank you. Then go ahead and skip this ride. But that is not my official recommendation, okay? Soarin' is like our favorite ride in this park, so I'm trying to get you over the fear. I want you to ride the ride. I'm just letting you know that if there's a list of attractions that you might not want to go on because of fear, Soarin' should maybe be on your list, maybe.
But you can skip the Pixar Pal-A-Round.
And the final ride of the video, Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. If you opened up this video expecting this ride, you found it. Here it is. It ticks pretty much all the boxes.
Yep.
Motion, fear, you name it.
Yep.
The fear aspect is a no-brainer. It's a drop ride, okay? I once got on this attraction.
It's not even because it's a drop ride, it pulls you.
I once got on this attraction and somebody didn't know. I don't know how you look at this thing and don't know. But they said, wait, we were all the way to the end where you're getting on the ride. They're like, wait, is this Tower of Terror? It looks the same. It just has slightly different outsides. And they were like, yes. She's like, oh no. So she waited the whole thing to just walk off it. Yes, this is Tower of Terror. Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. But, Amy, why don't you talk about the difference from Tower of Terror that makes you not like this ride?
So, Tower of Terror, I could technically handle it. Do I like it? No. But I would ride it every now and then. However, Guardians, unlike Tower of Terror where you drop, you stop, you drop, you stop, that type of thing. Guardians, it drops and it bounces. Your thing, your elevator shaft, whatever it is, just keeps bouncing. And the bouncing makes me sick. Like, I cannot do Guardians. I rode it once because I was like, okay, it's a brand new ride. I'm gonna ride it. I want to see it. Yeah, that was, I think, the one and only time I've ever ridden this ride.
Benjamin rode it once and never again. I have to take James, and just me and James go on this ride.
Took him on it one other time just in case when he was older.
Oh yes,
like,
he still did not like it.
When he was 3, and we're like, well, maybe he just didn't like it because he was 3.
Yeah, I took him maybe when he was 6, and he still didn't like it.
He still didn't like
Yeah, this is probably firmly a skip on anybody who does not like heights or motion or dropping or anything like that. To end the video, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, you just don't do this one. So that's going to be it for our time here today in this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. If you got questions about any of these rides, motion sickness, Amy will do her best to answer you down in the comments because she's the one to ask for these sorts of things. Don't forget to hit this video to check out more of my Disneyland content. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again next time.